Hey, what is going on, everyone? This is your boy Tanveer Side, the Bengal Dragon. Make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and bell notification buttons, as all your support really helps me remain motivated to continue making a variety of different type of videos on this channel as a legally blind YouTube content creator. If you haven't realized already, at least by the title of this video, this channel I cover many things related to entertainment, right? Yeah, a little bit of activism, because I'm trying to genuinely improve the situation for people with disabilities, but for the most part it's focused on entertainment, and I believe that human beings are capable of excelling in more than one thing. Maybe that's a problem that I don't realize, that I should make a concentrated YouTube channel where I don't talk about 5 or 6 or 8 different things at the same time. Okay, you talk about Resident Evil, talk about Batman. I'm gonna make an Evil Within video. Okay, did a bit of gaming, talk about cricket, and now scam baiting. So if you think I should make a concentrated channel, please put it down in the comment section below and I will follow up on your piece of advice. Anyways, so with that out of the way, if you do like this content, please do consider hitting that like, subscribe button and whatnot. Okay, now, if you've been following my comment section, okay, if you've been following my commentary, okay, you will most likely have seen me in 2 places very recently. One is the channels, plural, by Kitboga. The other are the channels, plural, by Rinoa Poison. Okay? And I have been aware of the scam baiting industry for a while. In fact, my first real exposure was the Hoax Hotel, but I don't know. Yeah, his content is good, but it just seems to concentrate on just one part of the whole scam call. The reaction part. So that after a while it get like it's like an MCU movie. Okay, you have all the special effects and all the action. You put that out in every movie using the same cookie cutter formula, it starts to get boring. Okay, and this is why I know people who are done with the whole cinematic universe of Marvel just because of that. Okay, and they have they're not concentrating on storytelling as much as they do in the action. Okay, but after having watched Kitboga and Rinoa Poison for a good amount of time, I would like to say, I even managed to catch a few of their their live streams on Twitch. Okay, this is just my opinion. I honestly think Kitboga is the undisputed king of scam baiting. Like, the level at which Kitboga does scam baiting for entertainment purposes, not for going after scammers, or not for getting them arrested or getting call centers shut down. No. If you want those calls, you're better off sticking with Trilogy Media, Scammer Payback. By the way, Scammer Payback, Pierogi, shout out to you, man. Thank you for all the work that you do, shutting down these scammers, with the help of people like Trilogy Media and others as well. And just just while we're at it, Jim Browning, yes, I know who Jim Browning is. I call him the sensei of scam baiting. Okay, he is if Kitboga, Poison, Pierogi, and let's say another one, Pleasant Green or whatnot, if these are the Ninja Turtles, Jim Browning is Master Splinter. Okay. But getting back to Kitboga. People, there is an art to how he scam baits. Okay, and me being in the world of at least some level of psychology and behavior analysis, like if you have this knowledge, you will appreciate Kitboga at a different level, because what Kitboga has done that, like, I have not seen any other scam baiter do to that level. Not even Rinoa Poison. Rinoa Poison does it from time to time, but not at this level. One of the things Kitboga does is counter social engineering, not reverse engineering. Not social reverse engineering. So social reverse engineering would imply that you are taking something apart. He does social engineering in the opposite direction. Okay, just to explain this a bit better, like he implants and imposes, or he manages to do role reversals. And yes, I'm doing this on a fly, no script, nothing. Okay, I'm just turn on my camera, have the camera app, let's go. Okay, he does this role reversal thing with scammers and uses that to entertain the masses, and he does that so well. Okay, let me give you an example. For one of the older episodes, this is the Gary Jackson episode. And by the way, listen, for me, Kitboga is now the Chuck Norris of scam baiting. Okay, other scam baiters get scam baiters to make cameos in their episodes. Kitboga also not only get other scam baiters. Well, he actually got, listen, he got Felicia Day. Okay, he got Felicia Day, one of the greatest voice actresses of all time. Okay, to do a 3.5 hours scam bait call with him. Okay, so yeah, Kitboga definitely gets a lot of points. But yeah, Kitboga is so tactful. He gets other scammers to make cameos in other episodes as well. Gary Jackson showed up in more than one episode. Like, he showed up at least in more than one episode, outside of his own episode. So, but the main Gary Jackson episode, Gary Jackson ended up being playing a priest, a head priest at Microsoft. But by the end, the old lady, I think like Gloria or something, okay, that Kitboga was playing, ended up preaching to Gary Jackson as a priest. Okay, that type of role reversal, okay, and that type of, social counter engineering that Kitboga is able to do. Let me give you another example. Okay, there is an I believe it's the angriest scammer of 2021, where Kitboga plays an old lady, Kitboga plays Joe Biden, Kitboga plays FTC Frank, Better Business Bureau Bob, and supposedly Joe Biden's illegitimate son called Tony Biden. And he gets the scammer to play himself, his girlfriend that he keeps missing. Like the scammer gets the name right, but Kitboga basically engineers him to get his girlfriend's name wrong, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. Okay, and there's one part where Kitboga is in a conference call, okay, with 4 people. All Kitboga is doing is playing the old lady. He gets the scammer to play himself, his girlfriend, and Arnold Schwarzenegger. So this type of multiple role-playing ability that Kitboga has, he induced this. He induced this into the scammer without the scammer even realizing what exactly is going on. Okay, this type of, these are just few examples. There are a lot more. I mean, good Lord. Some of the ones are, are just so ridiculous. But these are the type of things that makes Kitboga, for me, he absolutely the absolute king of scam baiting, because he puts so much psychology into the scam bait. Okay, and like yeah, he makes like absurd scenarios where he is in Olive Garden trying to get a refund, but the Olive Garden network is down. He has the church bank account where where he says that, oh, the church introduced cryptocurrency, so I'm gonna use the church's cryptocurrency to pay you back, so on and so forth. There's one where he gets in a helicopter. He goes to San Francisco and gets in a helicopter, and then he's asking the scammer for money. Like, I don't have money to pay. I don't have money to pay for the ride. So it's unbelievable. The scenarios Kitboga actually gets the scammer to play along. But there's this other person, Rinoa Poison. Good God. Good God, she is good. For me, she is right behind Kitboga. She is ahead of everyone else. Believe me, entertainment value, ahead of Scammer Payback, ahead of Pleasant Green, ahead of Malcolm Merlin, and all these other names I'm mentioning. I like them. I watch their videos. Ahead of Skeleton Siski, and I believe Skeleton Siski actually did a collaboration with the Poison. That's what I'm gonna call her. The Poison. Okay. She's ahead of all of them, and she is starting to get this social counter engineering process, done pretty well as well. Okay, and another thing, another thing Kitboga does is he actually puts a lot of effort into his videos, the video version of the scam call. Okay, take for example, and I'm gonna come back to this later on. Take for example the Abel episode. Okay, he actually put us a background with a store in there, and there's Kitboga with a granny wig, fake chasing someone in the store, who has some car wash coupons that Kitboga in his old character bought with Bitcoin car wash. Okay, and so just that extra effort, I believe there's a recent one where Kitboga, as an old man or something, he the scammer convinced him that he's going on a secret mission like a spy. Okay, and Kitboga somehow convinces himself that he has to buy coins. So there's an actual scene where he's pulling a hefty bag, a big garbage bag full of coins up to a vending machine. I'm like, just that type of extra effort. I'm like, good God, man. This guy is the undisputed king of scam baiting. But, okay, getting back to Poison. My God, she is unbelievably good. Okay, just one example. The most recent episode, as of this recording, I believe Uncontrollable Rage or something. She, through her work, reminded me of Steve Watson. No other scam baiter was able to remind me of Steve Watson. And Steve Watson is arguably the most legendary victim of a scam baiter in terms of rage. Because I saw the whole 10-hour episode, and I'm like, you know what? There is no one that is touching Kitboga. He took a raging beast, a raging bison, okay, an absolute a lion on steroids. Okay, so I'll go to jail. I'll go to jail. Jail is like my privates. Okay, I just implying that I go to jail. I go to jail every day, or every other week or something like that. I'll just get out in a week. He took that scammer and he turned him into a whimpering puppy. That amount of skill, like this, like it's unbelievable. Okay, but Rinoa Poison reminded me of Steve Watson. This is a testimony to how good Rinoa Poison is. Okay, and believe me, she's getting better. She is getting better. This is why, like, if you know where to look in the comment section, there are a few people who are wanting a collaboration between her and Kitboga. And rightfully so. Even I want a collaboration between her and Kitboga. Like, two of the best entertaining scam baiters coming together for one epic episode. I even suggested an idea. Okay? I've suggested an idea where, like, Kitboga plays the old man and Rinoa Poison plays the old woman. The old woman is called Don't Do It. If you know the Kitboga episodes, you know what I'm talking about. And the old man is called Keith White. Okay? And if you want, you can have a third character called Ben Baker. Okay, so when the scammer says, keep quiet, okay, the old people, they mishear, oh, you want to talk to Keith White? Okay, then Kitboga takes the phone. And like, when they're fake redeeming the cards, the scammer says, don't do it. Then like, oh, you want to talk to Don't Do It? Okay, then Rinoa Poison takes the phone. And then, like, when the scammer says, get handy with a pen and paper, the old people mishear it and say, what? You want me to get candy for Ben Baker? Well, Ben Baker's here. He doesn't want no candy. So the third scam baiter takes the call, who's called Ben Baker. Like, hi, like, I don't like candy. What, like, why are you telling my parents to give me candy? So, like, something like that. Very, the potential is limitless. Okay. Then for Rinoa Poison, like, some of the best episodes I have seen, and like, believe me, I binge watched Rinoa Poison a lot. Okay. The Dhruv Malik collection, where, good Lord, like, that is one episode where I will say that she is pulling a Kitboga. She is playing this guy. Okay, that Dhruv Malik episode, once again, it reminded me of the Adam and Alex series, especially Adam. Like, where Adam had a nervous breakdown. He at one point, like, he's begging for, like, gift cards because he's gonna lose his job. Then he turned it into a romance scam. Then he turned it into a legal issue. Then he played as so many other scammers. Then he played even a woman, like, I believe, like, Kiki Canal. Okay, he tried to play the grandson's teacher. I'm like the Dhruv collection, it reminded me of that. For any scam baiter to get that reaction out of me, I'm like, oh my god, this is good. Some of the other episodes, like, what I found entertaining of Rinoa Poison was, obviously the Dhruv collection. And by the way, if you haven't watched it, you're a fan of scam baiting. What are you doing? If you're a fan of scam baiting, subscribe to Rinoa Poison right now. Because she is that damn good. And by God, she deserves at least, like, 500 or 600k subs. Like yeah, her channel is growing, but good God, she deserves. I honestly feel she deserves a lot more. Okay, so, but getting back to Poison, there's one episode where the Poison like, playing an old lady, and she's also playing some guy called Bob, or was it Bob, or I forgot. Like, she plays a lawyer and is calling the Better Business Bureau, and the Better Business Bureau, like, I will shoot your son. I will shoot you. I'm Better Business Bureau. Don't mess with Better Business Bureau. I will shoot your son. Good God, like, for the Poison to get that reaction out of a scammer, it is a stroke of genius. Then I'm sorry, some people keep bringing up the melons. like the one where the scammers like haven't heard about. Like I personally, just my opinion, I did not like that episode. But I did not like that. It was entertaining. It was not as entertaining as the Dhruv collection. It was not as entertaining as, oh my god. There's one episode where like I don't know how high the scammer was or what type of substance the scammer was on, but the scammer, talks about baloney, meatballs, blue balls, red balls, killing a fish with you know with throwing a with a blue marble thrown at the fish's head, and like talks about a piece of chicken, mousetrap in the chicken, and that's the first episode. The second episode, Rinoa Poison gets him to sing "I've Got Big Balls" and "Milkshake," amongst other songs, without the scammer knowing anything about what's really going on. That, oh my god, that was one of the best episodes I've seen out of The Poison. To name a few more, her recent work is actually very, very, very good. Okay, like there's the Raging Scammer Meltdown, and by the way, me being a Bangladeshi person, me being someone who can speak and understand Bengali, okay, it is always a plus point for me when the scammers, speak Bengali and I hear it. Okay, so let's say the Raging Scammer Meltdown. Okay, me personally, I picked up immediately that these people are Bengali speakers because of the way they speak English. Okay, because people from the Bengal region, they have a different way of speaking English, and that episode, another one that I constantly binge watch, where like the scammer goes like, okay, you're a patriot, okay, so you go to the Target, our national store. I'm like, man, good lord, like that is page one of a Bengali stereotypical catalog. Page one, my friend. Okay. Then what else do you have? Like, yeah, I'm doing this on the fly, but there's a lot more. Oh, good lord, this one. Uh, this is one where she makes an entire scam center rage and scream. Oh, oh, the the glory of this episode, and I think this is perhaps best her best episode. This episode actually is better than a lot, I want to say all of a lot of Kitboga episodes. Oh my god. It's the one where and yeah, here's another thing, like just a suggestion, maybe Rinoa Poison needs to title her episodes in a slightly less generic fashion, because some of the episodes, they seem to have very similar names, so some people can get confused if they're actually looking for something more specific. Just a suggestion. Okay. Okay. But this is the episode where the scammer asks the Poison to go to Lowe's to get a Lowe's gift card. Okay, and then it ends up with her being confused about why am I going to Lowe's? You want me to buy your toilet seat? You want me to buy lumber? You want me to buy you lumber? And then like, okay, don't go to Lowe's, go to Target. Like, oh, okay, so I go to Lowe's, now I go to Target. Or is there a Target inside of a Lowe's or a Lowe's inside of a Target? What am I going into? And then the conversation goes to talking about food gift cards, and the reaction the scammers have slowly building up, reacting to Burger King gift cards. It's like, I have never put multiple timestamps. I don't even think in the Kitboga episode I've put multiple timestamps in one comment. I did in the Poison's episode, in this episode of The Poison. And I'm like, man, this is like Man, I want to see this on Rinoa Antidote. I can't wait for that episode to show up on Rinoa Antidote. That and the Dhruv collection. So these are just a few on, like, the episodes that I think are, for me personally, the best of the Poison. But for me, when it comes to, like, Kitboga, just to end with this, Kitboga managed to actually outdo Steve Watson. How can you outdo Steve Watson? Watch the Abel episode, the Abel episode, the Raw Meltdown. And if you have watched it, for me, what puts the Abel episode ahead of Steve Watson? Abel, because I've seen the 12-hour version. Abel does not cuss even once. He does not swear. In fact, Kitboga manages to get Abel to play a fake relationship, like marriage or relationship counselor. Okay? Gets Abel to take a fake driving license test for the character Kitboga is playing, and then ruins everything for the scammer, to the point where the scammer feels that he is not getting paid for a service that he provided. That type of reaction was not there with Steve Watson. Steve Watson was just raw anger. For Abel, Kitboga got able to feel that he was cheated. He was, wronged. Kitboga got the scammer to feel that the victim stole from the genuinely stole from the scammer. And that, I'm like, you know what, that is the best episode I have seen out of Kitboga. And yet, I, like, to the point where, listen, I did feel a little bad for the scammer, because it genuinely felt like, he has no choice. He's doing this because he really has no choice, and he's trying to be as humble and polite, at least, not being so rude and abusive during the scam. He's actually, has a bit of empathy on, the victims, but he has no choice. In the end, he's not gonna pay his bills, with no money or something like that. I still have a severe hatred for for the scamming industry. I really want all the scammers to get out of scamming immediately. But yeah, they are still human beings, and sometimes Kitboga gets that out of the scammers themselves. If you know what to look for, you realize that, the scammers are saying that, I understand what I'm doing is wrong, but I have no other choice. I am compelled. And believe me, when people are compelled, they do a lot of things that they regret later on. Anyways, those are my quick thoughts on the scam baiting industry, why Kitboga is the king, and Rinoa Poison is undisputedly just behind Kitboga. Number 2, there's no one, forget Kitboga, there is no one close to Rinoa Poison. Apart from Kitboga, there's no one else close to Rinoa Poison. And given the quality of her content, given how entertaining she is, and given how angry she can get the scammers, I honestly think she deserves a lot more subscribers. And if you haven't subscribed already, and if you're a fan of the scam baiting industry, I would highly, highly recommend you to subscribe to Rinoa Poison. Alright, that's about it. Let me know what you thought about the video and this topic in the comment section below. This is your boy Tanvir, the Bengal Dragon, signing out. And if you're Kitboga or Rinoa Poison watching this, listen, I'm a huge fan of both of you guys. I'm just a consumer giving his opinion. Okay, in the end, in the end, I look forward to both of your videos every weekend. or every week. Like, it's to the point where it's one of the things that brightens up my day. I'm like, yes, I'm going to watch another Poison episode or another, what I call him King Boga. Yes, I'm watching the episode where Boga is king. So it's to that point where I am genuinely like hooked on the product provided by Kitboga and Rinoa Poison. And while we're at it, I had an unpleasant interaction with someone in the comment section below. Listen, if you are one of those who even think about bringing up the fact that Kitboga is a man and Rinoa Poison is a woman to, to factor into your judgment or anything like that. Okay, to factor into your opinion and anything like that. Buddy, get help. Get help immediately. Immediately stop what you're doing, get help. Okay? Because I do not even see man, woman, or any other gender when it comes to what I'm entertained by. I just look at the product. Alright, that's it. And please leave a comment in the comment section below. Hit that like, subscribe bell notification. This is your both delivery side of the Bengal Dragon signing out.